please make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Alright, so as you can see by the shot behind me, I have a new cooler in my computer, and the old one is right here. This is the Asetek 120mm cooler. Now I just realized I haven't really made a video on it at all. I've mentioned it in videos, but I haven't really made like a review or anything like that. So this is going to be my review of this cooler since I'm pretty much done using it. I've been using this cooler, the 120mm one, for about a year and 3 months, and it's been cooling my CPU whenever I game, whenever I edit, run benchmarks, and just do overall computer stuff. In this video, I'm going to go over the temperatures I received using it. I won't go too in depth, but I will look at what most people will notice. Alright, so let's begin with the actual thing. I'm using an Intel Core i7-7700K and the installation is fairly simple. But you need an extra pair of hands if it's your first time installing. Even my second and third time I needed like an extra pair of hands. You don't need any tools to install it except you'll need a screwdriver to mount the actual radiator to your case and the fans. The only cable coming out of the pump is the cable for power, and that one generally is near the pump. It has a Gen 4 integrated pump and copper cold plate that makes contact with the CPU heat spreader, and it has a standard 120mm aluminum heat exchanger. By the way, the thermal paste I use is the Arctic Silver 5, and I applied it about a week ago, but I noticed that it didn't change the temperatures too much from the whole last year that it wasn't changed. The tubing is made of rubber and is advertised to be of high flexibility and low permeability. So far, there have been no issues with the tubing, but I really have only uninstalled and reinstalled the radiator once. I don't know how it'll hold up if you frequently uninstall it and install it. This AIO is factory filled and sealed, so you won't have to refill or anything like that. The only thing you would have to do is clean the dust off the radiator every now and then. Once again, the radiator has aluminum fins to dissipate the heat. On the Asetek website, it says that it's designed for a single fan operation. What does that mean? I used it with a single fan for a little over a year, and the temperatures when rendering videos reached 90 degrees Celsius, which should raise red flags. Once I added another fan and it had a push-pull configuration, the highest it's gone is 80 degrees Celsius. It does have mounting holes on both sides for 120mm fans, so I don't know what the whole one fan thing is all about. Alright, so now for some temperatures. Once again, the CPU I'm using is the Intel Core i7-7700K, not overclocked. The radiator is mounted on the back of the NZXT S340 Elite with 2 fans in a push-pull configuration for exhaust. There are also 2 Corsair ML140 fans in the front of the case as intake and 1 ML140 on the top of the case also for exhaust. I should also mention that this cooler is basically completely silent. I've never heard it once, and the fans, even in their quietest mode, sound louder than this pump in my experience. Now with that out of the way, I don't have a thermometer, but I'm assuming the room is about 20 degrees Celsius. With that said, on idle, with the computer just on with nothing running in the background, the processor runs at 31 degrees Celsius. Once again, the CPU is not overclocked. When using it normally, like web browsing and basic stuff, the temperature was around 35 degrees Celsius. I ran Cinebench, which grades your processor's power by stressing it out, and the temperatures were around 65 degrees Celsius. It basically stayed at 65 throughout the entire test. While gaming Ghost Recon Wildlands in full HD with a mixture of ultra and very high settings, the temperatures were around 66 degrees Celsius. Far Cry 4 in 1440p with medium settings had temperatures of about 57 Celsius. That surprised me because Far Cry was running at a higher resolution. I did notice my computer overall heating up, but that's because the graphics card is what produces most of the heat. That's perfectly normal. So far, the process that has stressed out and heated my processor the most is rendering of video in 4K quality using Adobe Premiere Elements 15. This stresses out the CPU because this editing software does not have GPU acceleration, so it only uses your processor to do all the work. Anyway, when I only have one fan in the radiator, the temperatures were always in the mid 80 degrees Celsius. That's very hot. It even hit 90 degrees Celsius at one point. A little higher and my PC would have blue screened. After adding the second fan in the push-pull configuration, the temperatures are now around the mid 70s. It's only when rendering the video at the end that really heats up the CPU. With all that said, this is a good CPU cooler if you plan on gaming and using your computer normally, like web browsing and things like that. But if you are an enthusiast or an amateur enthusiast like me, you should probably get a bigger radiator. As you can see, I've upgraded to a 240mm like I said at the beginning. This is actually the Deepcool Captain 240EX in white. I'm gonna have a video on that very soon, so stay tuned. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you have a cooler like this or similar to it, tell me in the comment section below and what do you think of it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.